Today we're going to learn our last way of solving a system of equations. We are going to solve by linear combination. So far we've learned 3 ways of solving systems of equations. We've learned solving by tables, graphing, and substitution. Today we're going to learn a 4th way, and it's called linear combination. But what I like to call it is I call it elimination. It's called elimination because you are trying to eliminate or get rid of one of your variables. So there's some simple steps that we have to follow. First one is to make sure your variables are lined up. So if you look at the example at the bottom, notice your x's are lined up, your y's are lined up, your equal signs are lined up, and your answers. Okay, the biggest thing is that your equal signs are lined up and that you have both x and y on the same side of that equal sign. So it says find the variable to eliminate. Normally choose the variables that have the same coefficient, and coefficient means number in front of the variable, and have opposite signs, which means one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So again, look at the example on the bottom and see which ones have the same number in front of the same variable, and one is positive, one is negative. If you guessed the y's, you're correct. Every time you find the matching coefficient, and the variable you're going to eliminate, I want you to put a box around it. This is showing that you have found it, and if those numbers don't match once you put the box around it, then you got to figure something else out, which we'll do tomorrow. So if you do not have a variable that matches, step 2, solve so one can be eliminated. Again, we're going to do that tomorrow. Add together your 2 equations. So this is where we eliminate that variable. We are going to add all of these equations together. So you're basically adding your like terms. 4x plus 2x gives us 6x. Your y's cancel out. You bring down that equal sign, and you have 16 plus 8, which is 24. The next step is solve for the remaining variable. So notice how y's are gone. We only have one variable, and we all should know that to get to x alone, you divide by 6. So here we would have x equals 4. So think back to all of our other ways of solving. Did we ever just have one variable? No, we've had x and we've had y. So just like before, we substitute this back into an original equation. I always substitute it back into the top, just habit, and then I go ahead and solve. So wherever I see an x in the top equation, I'm going to put parentheses because that means I'm going to substitute in there what I had already found, which is 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. And I would subtract 16 here. And you get 3y is equal to 0. When you divide by 3, if you don't remember, we have our calculator right here. 0 divided by 3, that gives us 0. So y is equal to 0. Just like before, we have to write our answer as an ordered pair. So our final answer would be 4, 0. Remember, x always goes first, then y. So this is your answer. This one I think is the easiest. Some people think it is the hardest. So let's go through this again. Always make sure that your variables are lined up. My x's are lined up, my y's are lined up, equal signs and answers. In this case, we need to get rid of one of the variables. Notice how both of our x's have 3's, one is positive, one is negative. So because of this, I can go ahead and add them together because I know when I add them together, my x's are going to cancel out. They're gone. So these are gone. Now I have 1y plus 15y is 16y equals 12 plus 36 is 48. When we divide by 16, okay, if you don't know what that is, we can always use our calculators. So 48 divided by 16 gives us 3, so y is going to equal 3. Just like before, we take this and we substitute it back into one of our equations. Again, I always use the top one. It's just habit. So we have 3x plus 1y equals 12. Okay, so I'm going to substitute that 3 in where I see the y. So 3 times 1 is 3. We have 3x plus 3 is equal to 12. And we're just going to solve. To get x alone, we have to subtract 3 to both sides. We have 3x is equal to 9. When we divide by 3, we get x equals 3. So our answer will be 3, 3. In example 2 on this page, again, look to see which variable you can get rid of after you've lined up all of your pieces, x's, y's, equal signs, and answers. If you said that y's are going to be the ones that you're going to get rid of, you are correct, okay? They both have the number 1 in front. One is positive, one is negative. So we can go ahead and add together those two equations. Your like terms, 2x plus 4x is 6x. Your variables will cancel. And then you have 3 plus 6 is 9. So here, if we do divide by 6, this isn't pretty, I apologize. So we'll do 9 divided by 6. That gives us 1.5. So we're just going to use that decimal 1.5. We're going to take that x and substitute it back into one of our equations. So wherever we see an x, put parentheses so you know exactly where to substitute in. And our value is 1.5, so that's what goes here. So if you don't know what 1.5 times 2 is, again, please use your calculator. It helps so much. So we have 3 plus y is equal to 3. If you subtract 3, you have y equals 0. So again, your answer would be 1.50. Remember, x than y. At this point, please try your in-class practice. Have your teacher check your work. Okay, make sure that you are doing that because it's very important that you know how to solve, especially by one of these. So good luck. I wish you the best.